All righty. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Lucky Duck, home of the best spinners you can get, and by far the 2x4 blind, the way to go. Comfort.
All of their motion decoys. I got to tell you, Tim, you go ahead and introduce, I guess. I guess I spoiled the surprise.
You kind of stepped on my feet there, so you go ahead and do the introduction, Mr. Man.
The owner of Lucky Duck, Mr. Tim No's on with us today, so we're lucky to have you. I got to tell you what I was going to say. That swimming decoy, that looks like a game changer.
Yeah, thanks for having me too, guys. Appreciate it. That our new super swimmer for this year, definite upgrade to what we've had, and I think the best swimmer on the market. So it's a cool deal.
It is. I saw. Well, of course, I saw it at Game Fair, and then somebody took some drone footage of it, like on an actual body of water, not just in the little swimming pool. It looks phenomenal. The wake that it makes, like everything looks natural.
Yeah, it is very natural. That's what we were going for. Is that water motion is so key today, and making it more natural than anything. And that, especially in the woods, it's just a dynamite decoy. We were using a bunch of them last year, and you could set out 10 of those in the woods and no other decoys at some points, and it was cool.
Well, we talked about it on the podcast when we come back from Game Fair where we saw them at, and I had 3 messages the day that podcast come out, guys wanting to know the name of it. So you're already getting some attention on it already. So I'm assuming the sales have been really good on it so far.
They have. We had some allotted for our website. Those are gone, and a bunch of our retail partners have them. So they're out there and they're selling well. People have definitely heard about them. We're excited for it this year. It's like I was saying, that on the water motion has become so important in duck hunting. And spinners are important, especially in a field. Like, you got to have those in a dry field, but you get in water, and that on the water motion is critical. And so our swimmers, our agitators, those are really been key products for us the last few years, and guys really liking those.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and the body motion, like it's a beautifully designed decoy. Like, the decoy itself looks phenomenal. Got a high head, and it looks great. Just the decoy itself.
And one of the keys too to that, you hit on a little before, was the wake it gives off.
Yeah.
And we intentionally had the front of that weighted the way it is, so the kind of the breast of that decoy is sitting a little lower a little forward, if you will. So when it's moving, it's pushing water too, and you can get that V that comes off the side of it. Just looks extremely natural. But that was a critical piece of the development of it. It was, we can make things move around, but how do we kind of displace water too?
Right.
Well, when I looked at that picture right now, if I did not know that you had the super swimmer and I saw that picture, I would have thought someone took a picture of a mallard drake swimming in your decoys. The one where he's swimming at me, and there's the spinners behind him, and you got just regular decoys in front of him. Because of what you said, the breast sits down in the water. Decoys don't do that. They all sit up on top. That's the way a real duck swims, just like that super swimmer, and it looks phenomenal.
Yep. Thank you for that. You're right. You're spot on. That was a huge part, and there are little details like that you watch for and look for, and I think our development team did a really nice job on that.
Yeah, I mean, usually you can tell a decoy. Right. That doesn't look like a freaking decoy because of the way it sits down. And I've never thought about that until you done that. All decoys set up higher than real ducks do. All decoys do, unless you got one that's been shot a few times and they ride a little too low. But that one looks so phenomenal, and it looks so realistic, and it's going to kill a lot of birds over that stuff. Mm-hmm. Be prepared for the state of Louisiana to say, nope, you can't use them here. It's too deadly.
What did y'all have a swimmer before this one?
We did, and it was it was called our super swimmer. This is our super swimmer HDI. So the HDI talks about the lithium ion, highly defined, a lot of detail. But our old one had a smaller pump in it, and it was just much more of a real subtle swimming motion, which was all right. But this, we upgraded the pump. It's the same pump we use in our agitators, high output bilge pump, if you will, that's specifically made for our decoy. and to be weighted the correct way.
I mean, I'm sure you've got other products that you're eyeing at designing and stuff, but how much more stuff can we put on decoys, and how much more motion can we create in the spread that's not already, that you guys don't already have out?
Yeah, well, there's always something, right?
I guess.
And that's part of our job too, and is to create cool, new, and innovative things, that work and help hunters, be more successful in the field. Like, that's our ultimate goal. But there's we're constantly talking about how do we make things either better or something that's not out there, that is, totally new. But to your point, it can be challenging, right? Because there's people have been doing this for a long time. Mm-hmm. We've been doing it for a long time. And, how do you keep making things better? But you go back to a fishing reel, right? Like fishing side, I love fishing. That's always something I always relate hunting to. And I mean, the principles of a fishing rod reel have been the same for a long, long time, but they've gotten better and better and better and better.
Well, that's true too.
Well, you've got two products that just right here, we talk about the HDI the swimmer. That's completely different than anything we've got anywhere else. Nobody's got one of those out there. That's one. And then the 2x4 blind y'all took just a willow blind everybody was building, and you put a base for it that's out of this world. So two simple concepts have completely changed the way people hunt. It's changed the way we hunt. We very seldom don't use the 2x4 blind now. I mean, it's the way we go.
Yeah. And there's, and that's a good example too. That 2x4 is a good example of making blind, like our blind, better. And man, let's just make it super easy. Walk through design, right? Like, don't have to duck under any bars. Like, that was one of the requirements, was it has to be easy to go in and out of, right? You can't. I've had so many friends, hunting buddies that are older, that they don't want to get on their knees and duck under a bar or crawl through a blind, just to get into it. Like, that was a big piece to it. And then the other piece to it was just making it 10 feet long, so we can really fit 4 guys in there. Like, it's comfortable for 4 guys to hunt out of. Simple things, using thicker tubing so it's durable. Like, let's build something, that will last seasons. So that was, those kind of details and just thought processes of how are we going to make this thing much better. Which, to your point, those two products, the swimmer and the 2x4, are really good examples of that.
Well, you can fit 4 fat ass guys in a blind, and that makes it a lot more comfortable. Plus, it's making it more social. Like, when you hunt separate in a layout blind, you can't visit with a guy sitting 2 spots over for you because you can't hear nothing. Or if you're like me, you can't. But when you got everybody in a blind, you can visit more. It's just a lot more enjoyable. It's made hunting waterfowl hunting's a social sport, anyways. I mean, everybody wants to go have a good time and sit with your buddies and cut up and talk about stuff. And that makes it easier with the 2x4 blind. And I tell guys all the time, that's the way we go. That's the way we're going to roll most of the time.
And you're so right on that from just the waterfowl sport in general, right? It's a social, for the most part, it's pretty social. And that's a huge differentiator between, I love hunting deer. That's fun. I go sit in a deer stand in November. Love doing that. But it's not social, right? Like, and to me, that's one of the best things about duck hunting and goose hunting is you can rip it up with your buddies, have a good time, still shoot birds. It's just, it's one of the best aspects of our sport.
Yeah. What do you deer hunt? Do you kill a big deer every year, or are you more of a casual deer hunter? Or is it something that's like,
I'm definitely
truly into you?
More casual, just from a time perspective. Uh-huh. Like, I probably get in the stand 5-6 times a year. I think last year I was probably in a deer stand maybe 6 times, and probably hour to 2, or maybe 2 hours a piece. So it's like, man, I run out of here from work real quick, and maybe I can get in for an hour before dark, or hour before I come to work in the morning, or 2 hours or something like that. But it's hard, right, with fall, because waterfowl hunting, that takes up a lot of time. I love fall fishing too, so I do some of that. And then there's this thing called kids that takes up most of your time. and then obviously work. So you just got to prioritize and do what you can do.
We were just talking today. So today it's Tuesday. The recording. Well, this will come out on Wednesday. But we just finished opening weekend of dove season, and like on Saturday or Sunday, we were like, you know what, we ought to take the kids hunting this week sometime.
And we filmed it.
Well, no. We ought to take the kids filming during the week when we don't have any hunters here. So yesterday was Labor Day. We had a football draft. And then, like you said, today, my oldest has football practice, flag football. Tomorrow we got something. And then Thursday something else. And then Friday we start with hunters again. But it's just like, there's no time. There's no time when you have kids.
You made time Saturday because we're filming the season 2, and we did a family hunt, grandkids, kids, and did a hunt. Showed, shot over the lucky ducks, shot with boss shells, doing all of that stuff. But when you're in the hunting business, everybody thinks you hunt all the time. You very seldom get a hunt. The guy that works 8 to 5 for somebody else is the one that gets to do all the hunting, it seems like.
Well, and I mean, we did hunt Saturday, but it was like a leftover kind of spot that may or may not have dove on it. We didn't hunt anything that would, keep the grandkids interested. But we were going to take a spot that was pretty good and hunt it like Tuesday or Wednesday. That way it'd have plenty of time to rest for the weekend. And it ain't going to happen. Too busy.
It's hard. Yep. And your kids are probably, like mine too. They're in that kind of that middle school, high school, even like later 4th, 5th, 6th grade time frame, like from 4th grade to high school. It's like if they're in any kind of activity, sports, dance, whatever it might be, band, like they're busier than heck.
Yeah, Andy has
been staying on top of your schoolwork and all that.
Andy hasn't got even busy yet. He's got a son in 1st grade.
Second grade.
I'm a terrible grandpa.
But there's flag football,
right.
And then
but it's not as busy as it's going to be in 3 or 4 or 5 years when you got 2 of them doing shit.
Right, yes. Yeah. I don't know how.
It's just starting for you.
Yes.
I had this conversation today.
And that scares me.
You go from the kids in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, and you get busy and you stay busy with them, and you go all the way through high school, and your whole world and life is consumed about what's going on in your children's lives. And then all of a sudden your kid goes off to college, and you look at your wife and thought, who are you? Do I know you? Because you're not the same one 20 years ago that I married. You're a different model. I'm a different model now. What's going on here? And you got to know that person again because your whole life has been around what your kids do. Everything in your life functions around your children almost until they're gone, and then they're gone. And it's like, oh shit.
Yep. And my hunting partner is just getting to that point now where he's got a senior in high school and a sophomore in high school, and his senior, is leaving, should be going to college this summer or next fall, and it's his last year, and that's what they talk about every day. Is they're like, what are we gonna do? Like we've got like 1 year left with her, and 2 more years left with our other daughter, and it's like, what are we gonna do?
You're gonna fight over stupid shit and then go do things that you've wanted to do forever. I think it takes the average person, the after Christmas, the first kid coming home for Christmas that first year, to realize, you know what, it's time for them to go do their shit. We're gonna go do our stuff, because your kids will mess up the whole feng shui at the house that you have. They mess with the TV controller, the thermostat. There's shit in the refrigerator that's there all the time for you to eat. You go there and it's freaking gone because they ate it at midnight when they come in and stuff. So when your kids come to visit for the first time, you love them and love them, love them. About the 4th time they come visit, you're ready for them to fucking leave again real quick. You'd be surprised how quick you get over that shit pretty fast.
Well, and that's kind of like our role as parents, right? I look at it that way, is like at some point what we're doing now is hopefully building them so they can do it on their own,
yes.
Right? And so to your point, it probably is a kind of a eye opener when they come back for the first time after being gone, and you're kind of like, hey, wait a second now, I am ready for you to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, it don't take long. You might be really sad that first time when they drive off, man. All 3 boys, when they left to go off and they got in the car and they drove off, or we left when we were moving them into college, bawled like freaking babies. Both of us did the whole time. Man, now they come home and we bawl like hell when they get there, and we're jumping up and down happy about 12 hours later if they leave right then. It does not take long for them to wear their welcome out. They don't want to be in your life much more than you want them to be in your life, other than to see them for a little bit. And it's really weird how that happens. And everybody I've talked to is the same way. They just you get a schedule built around, and you get acclimated to them not being there again.
See, and that's hard for me to imagine because I've got a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Oh, you'll be sick of their shit one day.
Well, the 7-year-old, that's coming up probably pretty quick.
Yeah,
He turned into a teenager overnight, and I don't know where the hell that happened, but
he's smarter than y'all are. That's the problem. He's really smart.
it's something. I don't know, but you nurture these little shits, and you're everything to them, and they're everything to you for a while, and then you see it. I've seen it more this year with my oldest son. Like I said, he's in 2nd grade, and we're starting to he's starting to come into who he is as a person, more so of, the 4-year-old is just whatever the hell we make him. The 4-year-old's a ton of fun. And that's another thing that's hard with the 7-year-old is the 4-year-old's so much fun and the 7-year-old's an asshole. Well, I'm not going to treat you that great if you're an asshole. So
you've already developed a favorite one. That's bad, Andy.
Not a favorite.
That's just favorite. I can tell.
Favorite of the time.
Yeah, I hope he don't listen to this podcast.
I heard somebody say they have 5 kids, and they said we have 3 kids too many, and depending on the day I can tell you which 3.
That's a good deal. So. Tim, how'd you get into Lucky Duck? I mean, did you wake up one day and think, you know what, I want to be in the spinner business? I mean, how did this all come about?
It's kind of funny how things work. I was working, my background is in accounting, finance, business in general, working for a couple larger accounting finance firms. And this company that had already existed was called Expedite International, which is our legal name, if you will. And they were a client of the firm I was working at, and just from where I lived, and they were in the same town where I lived. And so I was asked to work on that account and manage that account. And that's how I got to know the original owners of Expedite, and over time developed a relationship with them and eventually went to work for them. And then in 2000, that was probably 2010, went to work for them. And then after a couple of years of that, me and my current partner bought them out, and the original owners out, and have been running with it ever since.
What did they have when you came on board?
They had a brand called Edge Innovative Hunting, which had the Lucky Duck spinner was the product. And they had some other motion decoys. That was kind of their specialty, was motion decoys, kind of like it is today for us. But we revamped everything, changed the brand name to Lucky Duck.
Kudos, by the way. That's much better than Expedite.
Yeah, thank you. I think, Lee with Boss, he was a big help in that whole process. He helped us tremendously through that process. And so, a lot of that foresight too goes out to him and helping us in that process and being a part of it. So it was a good decision to move on from that and kind of create our own identity and, rework products and made products better and more innovative. And that was kind of our focus. The duck side is important, very important to us. But, we've got, equally as important is our predator calls. Getting into that business and really learning that business and understanding it and partnering with the right people. That's a really important part of our overall business. And then we've gotten into dog kennels too, for the sporting dog world. And that's been a learning curve and working with the right people in the industry. And I feel like we've really got 3 distinct businesses that are really strong from, the waterfowl side, the predator side, and the kennel side.
The predator calls, I don't think people really understand how big that business is, because in Texas now, and Texas is different than a lot of states, I understand this, but we have varmint contests. They have in January, February, and March. And every weekend, you can go somewhere within about 150 miles where we live and go to some kind of varmint contest. And some of these contests will have 300 and 400 teams in them. That's a lot of people that are varmint hunting. A lot of them. And they have some paydays. I think San Angelo, someone won $40,000-$50,000 for the biggest bobcat this year.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy the money that they pay to win these things. And they're in Oklahoma, I know they have them. They're all over the place. But there are a lot of people that varmint hunt. and that's their main thing, is just to shoot varmints. We got a friend of ours, Clay Reed, that's on the podcast, and his goal is to shoot a coyote every day. And what's he up to right now?
287.
287. He's killed a coyote 287 days in a row.
Well,
wow, that's great.
Not straight. He had a couple days that he missed, but in the year, his obviously, there's going to be some days, but I think he's only missed like a day or two. I know nothing about the varmint hunting world. So okay, that's what I was looking at. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. The raccoon that tackles the freaking which one was it? Do you know off the top of your head? I can't really tell. It might be in the description.
It was either the Revolt or the Revolution. It's one of those two, I believe.
That little bastard was coming full force.
Yeah. Yep. Raccoons, like, we think of coyote hunting as, like, some people have never heard of coyote hunting, and they're like, really? But most people kind of are into that now. But the raccoon piece is, a lot of people have no idea about that. Like, talk about something super fun to do, and they get totally aggressive. Just like you were mentioning, like they'll just come after.
I've never seen a raccoon do that in my entire life. That's ridiculous how just pissed off he was. And was it all just a territory dispute? Like, what gets a raccoon that fired up?
They're meat eaters.
You can play like a raccoon fight sound, and they hear that and they'll come out of the woodworks for that. Know that. It's like, what is going on? And it drives them nuts. And you can hunt them sometimes there's these old abandoned houses, and all of a sudden you see these raccoons popping their head up out of the window, broken windows, and it's the weirdest thing ever. Guys get a kick out of it. It's fun to do.
We're going to have to do that.
There's a bunch of old abandoned houses here.
Yeah. Your call, we have I don't know which one it is that we have here. And I'm telling you, my guys use that all the time in the evening. They all the time. Who's got the call? Who's got the call? And they'll get the call. And they go out and they make a call all the time. But I'm going to do the raccoon one. And I'm going to tell you what, a coon's an aggressive damn animal. I came home one night. And we had a German Shepherd at the time. And she meets me at the back gate. And I start walking around the corner, and she goes in front of me, and all of a sudden she comes running back, and this mama coon is on her ass, and the mama coon and her babies were in our backyard, and they were eating dog food out of that dog, and they'd whip that dog's ass off its own food. Like, you're a fucking German Shepherd. Kill that damn thing.
Yep. Our couple of our main predator guys, one Rick Paulette, who does all our sounds and he's a big part of the overall process of making calls. And then Jeff Nemnich, who's, kind of our lead, pro staff professional guy. He also hosts The Last Stand for us, which is a predator show that we do on YouTube. Those two guys, two of the best coyote hunters in the country. And they'll sit there, and every year they want to make sure we do at least one raccoon episode because they have so much fun doing it. Like, it's like, I don't care what we're doing. We're making sure we're doing that one raccoon episode, because for them, it's just like kids in a candy store. Right. Like, it's just super fun.
Yeah. The one thing that I really like that you guys do, and there's a ton, but it's the dove spinners. I love the dove spinners. People don't, and dove hunting in Texas is huge. Like, it should be a state holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have so many different takes on the dove spinner. You got the rapid flyer, you got the triple play. I'm assuming you could put like dove decoys on that. It says it's for pigeons, but like you could put dove decoys on there. But people don't know how good dove spinners work either. Like, they'll come in like ducks.
They are. Oh my gosh, yes. Like, you want those out there. You're right. Dove hunting down south is way different than dove hunting up north. Like, I equate it to exactly how you described it. Like, up north, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, like, deer hunting, deer opener is like it's a holiday, right? Like, some kids don't even go to school, right? And down south, it's like reverse, like dove opener that's the family tradition. It's a big party. It's a event, and it's just totally different how it is, versus in the north versus the south. But having a spinner or 2 or 3 or 4, like, they are critical to having a lot more fun on dove shoots.
We've got guys that'll stick out a spread. We'll have a guy that'll have 15 spinners and 25 decoys on the ground or on the fence around him. I mean, he's got his own flock built right there. And
Yep.
Now what I always find funny about this is the camouflage. You don't have to wear freaking camouflage to shoot a damn dove. You also don't need a blind. You can sit in your truck or sit next to your truck. The best blind in the world is to put your truck on the west side of you, sit in the shade when it's hot, and have about a dozen spinners in front of you. Those doves don't even notice there's a truck there. They don't care. They're landing in the backyard drinking out of my swimming pool 5 minutes before we're shooting at them sometimes. So that they're not bothered by people that much. But, man, spinners make all the difference in the world. And like you said, opening day of deer season up north, I'll bet you that there's, in Texas, if we have 500,000 hunters in Texas, 250,000 of them dove hunted opening day or opening weekend this year, easily. And I don't even know what the numbers would be, but half of whatever our state licensed hunters are all hunted this weekend, one time or another, to go shoot dove. And it's
that's insane.
Every little town you go to, if you're at the Allsups, which is our convenience store, our Come and Go, or whatever y'all have up there, the same thing. If you're there at 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning, every other I'm gonna say more than that. I'm gonna say 80% of the people that come through the doors were going dove hunting with camouflage on. It's a huge thing in the South. And I don't understand why it's not more popular up north. Well, y'all open big goose season and stuff on September 1st at the same time. So it's competing against other things. In Texas, you're competing against slapping mosquitoes on the coast, sweating your ass off playing golf, or going dove hunting. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, like, so what was the temperature for opener?
We weren't bad. Opening day, it was rainy and 75 degrees all day. We were cool opening day. Now, it got hot Saturday here. It was 95 degrees here Saturday.
Yes.
It's supposed to be 98 this weekend, which is normal. 100. I've seen it 110 or 112 opening day of dove season. I've seen it 70 like it was here. Opening day was in the 70s and cool and rainy, which we had a really cool last 2 weeks of August. But it's warm now.
I was sitting, we had talking about openers and competing time with dove. Like, our teal opened September 1st up here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I was sitting in our little duck blind teal hunting September 1st, swatting mosquitoes. I think it was 80, 82 degrees or something like that. So it was, and that's hot for September 1st.
We have a lot of teal right now that are here. We got a lot of numbers, but we had some little cool area. But it's supposed to warm up for our opener. And this year is the first year somebody didn't kill a rattlesnake on a dove hunt that I know of. Because we always kill a rattlesnake here opening weekend of dove season. Somebody does.
Sometimes we kill them on our teal hunts. That's not fun either.
Do you kill any rattlesnakes while you're teal hunting up there?
No.
Do you even have rattlesnakes up there? You have Easterns?
There's maybe a few in some of the bluffs and stuff, but nothing like you guys have.
Well, we don't have them under every tree. That's what everybody thinks. Oh, you walk. Especially, do I need snake boots? Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt nothing, but you don't have to have them. What do you do about your rattlesnakes? Yeah. Well, you can take them home with you if you like them, or kill them. We don't, I'd get rid of every one of them. I could care less if we ever had a rattlesnake.
Yeah. That's probably the one of the most, like, fear. Like, I do not like snakes.
I don't
hate
them. I don't either. I don't like them.
But
either.
You know what y'all have that we don't have that scares me is bears, because I've never been around them. So I expect every one of them's a grizzly bear that's fixing to come try to eat my ass. And most bears are scared of you.
That's so true.
So
that's so true. What you're used to, right?
Yes. Wild pigs. We got wild pigs everywhere, and everybody thinks they're going to attack somebody, and they run. They don't come at you.
I've just always, it's like you said, it's just what you're conditioned to. I've always just kind of known when I was turkey hunting to be watching for rattlesnakes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're out there long enough, you start to kind of push those things away, just like you are with the bears. Like, I'm sure if I hunted up there, that's all I'd be thinking about is when the bear is going to come get me. But when you're out there more and more, you just kind of push it down. But I don't like snakes either. Nothing about them is good for me, ever.
So how's the supply line chain? We have all the products we need? Are we waiting on stuff, or Do you have everything in stock right now?
Yeah, the supply for the most part is really, really good. Yep. There's a few things we're short on right now that we have more coming, but it's 99% good, like way better than last year. I think for a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people in the hunting space, outdoor industry, and we all kind of have the same thought. Like it was, it was, it was our best year ever. I think it was a lot of people's best year ever, like as far as product moving. But it was the most stressful year ever because of the supply chain issues. It was, I mean, crazy, crazy hard. And that's worked itself out where I think we're sitting in a much better spot overall as an industry, and just society in general. Things are moving a lot better right now from the supply chain point of view.
Why do you think that it was your best year ever? Do you think people were finally like COVID's in the rear view and let's just get on with our life and start going hunting again? Or what do you attribute it to?
I think part of it was even 2020 was a good year. People were out, they could be outdoors doing things. It's very true. What a lot of what has been written is, people weren't going out to eat as much, weren't going on vacations as much, long ways away, but they were at home more, had more disposable income to spend on goods instead of services, and which, okay, I got more time in my hands, I got a little more money in my pocket because I haven't been doing these other things, and so I'm going to go buy decoys or whatever it may be, shotgun shells or whatever it was, and so that led to a lot of that. I think it's a little different now. I think it's great thing about hunting is it's their passion, right? People are still going to do their passions. But there's more competition for the money that people do have. Like, maybe people want to get back out on a vacation now and travel somewhere and things like that. And so you're competing more for the dollars that are out there.
When do you like do your grand, this is the new products for the new year? When does that take place?
Yeah, typically we'll start kind of doing a few little soft releases in maybe the winter time, January, February, March, kind of coming soon type stuff. And then like for waterfowl hunting, we start July is when you really kind of start seeing a lot of the new, promo reels and teasers and things like that start coming out, and product usually hits the shelves in kind of that July, August timeframe.
So, I mean, realistically, like Game Fair for a lot of people was the first time seeing the upgraded swimmer. They've seen it
absolutely.
Online or something like that maybe, but in person it was at Game Fair.
Absolutely. Yep. That's typically August. You have a lot of these different shows, consumer events that are going on. That's typically for waterfowl when you start seeing the new products out in person.
Is there like a, because you don't want to mess up the launch of something. So late summer is usually the right time? Because, you always think because SHOT Show was always in February, or it is in February?
January,
yep. February. So, I mean, you don't want to have any big news then because everybody's going to forget about it.
Right. And that's kind of like where because SHOT Show is always like a big media show and dealer, like if you were selling through retail channels, like dealer show, but it wasn't necessarily open to the public per se. And so people typically show products there. Here's what's coming for, next hunting season. But it just doesn't gain the same, interest or the same type of promotion that you would before, like in July or August, because exactly your point, people are going to forget about it. I can't buy this for 9 months or 8 months. Why show it to them, in January when you're not going to be able to buy it till August type of thing.
And also someone else can kind of try to copy it and put it out there real fast.
Is that
yeah, then you give people a little bit of a lead time on it, right? Yep, for sure.
What you're about our only sponsor we have that still deals with box stores and other outlets to sell stuff. Have you noticed you sell through other outlets and then you can buy direct from you? Is y'all's business picking up more on your own sales or with everybody else's sales? Which market's growing? Your own?
Yeah, overall it still kind of holds true with how much business we do online on our own site versus what we're doing through our retail partners, and much greater through the retail channels. That works for us. It's a lot of the stuff we have is big boxes and a lot of air inside, right, with decoys in general, and so it helps having retail partners from that perspective, because shipping costs can be enormous,
Right.
when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, and the retail partners, always had a long relationship with them. So we still value that channel really well, but I understand how some products are going direct to consumer, and I get it. I totally get that. Another hard part with the retail market is you have brands that are already in a retail environment, and it's hard to get space in there. Retail stores, it's not like they're expanding and providing more hunting space, especially in a big box environment. So it's hard to get space in there. And so if you got an idea or a product and you go direct and you say, well, I'm just going to do it myself, I understand that. I understand why that's happening.
The direct to market approach is crazy, because when I first got in the hunt business, you bought through Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops or Max.
That was it.
That was about it. And Knutson's had a deal, but that was all there was. There wasn't Academies, there wasn't Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever else that's selling stuff. But now I have conditioned myself. If I look for any product, I try to buy direct from the manufacturer now, whether it's Columbia or Filson or it's a hunting product. I look straight at the website of the company and try to order off that. And there for a long time, you couldn't do it. You had to go through a retailer. And I think people like me are getting more conditioned now. If I want to buy something from you, I'm going to go to luckyduck.com. And that's what I do instead of looking at Bass Pro or Max or wherever it is nowadays. And it seems to me like the trend is going more and more towards direct consumer.
People, I think, even just in general online, like people are just way more comfortable with it, right? Like online sales have become, whether it's a retailer or a manufacturer, like it's just, every generation now is comfortable doing it. You can be a 80-year-old, my grandparents, right? Like 80 some years old, and they're comfortable doing that, right? Like it's no big deal. So that, I think that's led into that somewhat too. And then some people do feel like they've got more of a personal connection then to the brand that they're buying is, hey, I'm buying it directly from them. And I completely understand that.
How many people do you know that 10 years ago was buying anything from Amazon? Just 10 years ago.
A lot.
10 years ago, they were buying 10 years ago from Amazon? Because I don't.
No, they were not.
No, none. Everybody buys from. I don't know anybody that doesn't buy something from Amazon now. If something at my lodge, if my food distributor Cisco doesn't have it, we get onto Amazon. I bought all my plates and stuff, my paper goods from Amazon because the quality's better. Since COVID come, you can't get paper plates are worth of shit or anything. So I buy from Amazon. 10 years ago, I didn't buy anything from Amazon. I mean, I wasn't going to pay $59 a year to be a member to buy something from somebody. And I don't even know if they charge me anymore. We buy enough shit. I don't think I even had to pay a membership fee anymore. Yeah, you do, Andy said I do. I don't think I do. I don't think so.
Bezos is one of the smartest men on the planet. You think he's going to let Jeff Stanfield off because he spends enough money?
I don't know. I haven't paid I have an Amazon credit card that's just through Amazon, and they haven't charged me in 2 or 3 years.
They've charged you somewhere else.
Well, yeah, they charge me every freaking day. The UPS guy came to the lodge and just dropped off a bunch of stuff from Boss. And he goes, I got 3 packages for Amazon for Michelle. Do you want them here now? I said, no, I'll just have to load them up and take them home. I said, you can just drop them off in town when you go through there. So I didn't want jack with them every day. And Michelle is one of 100 people in my town that get something from Amazon every single day. We fill up a UPS truck just in Amazon shit.
Yep. It's very true. There's your retail partners are, and retail stores, like they do, they can do a really good job for you and, ability to have your brand in front of a lot of people. And that's important to be able to do that, especially when you want to see and touch a product, right? You want to know, try something, let's say, right? Like being able to go and really feel and touch something and know what you're getting. It's, retail's alive, but there's no doubt that you can do it multiple ways, put it that way. You can sell products multiple ways for sure.
And I mean, it just makes sense to, like you guys have, you got a beautiful website, and, people can just go straight to you if they want to. It's handy for us because we're 3 hours away from a Bass Pro Shop or a Cabela's. So like, this whole thing works out splendidly for us. But I could see, like, if you had a Cabela's, a neighborhood Cabela's or Bass Pro, which they're all the same thing now anyway, somehow. I don't know. It's weird. But go and check it out. Look at it in person before you buy it, and do it that way. You brought back the goose chair. That is a throwback and a half. What did people think about that? Because a lot of the new generation of hunters, they haven't ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, it's funny because I was just at a show in Wisconsin 2 weeks ago, I guess it was now, and a dad and his son walked by. Son's 16 and he's 50, and the dad's like, "Oh, I used to hunt out of those," something like that, all the time, and the son had no idea. And so it was, you could see there's a little educational piece on what you have to do and how it works and that whole deal. But it was just it's another way of getting people in the decoys, like getting hunters in the decoys. Maybe just a little different, like they're effective. They work. Yeah. They've always worked. We tried to make it so it's a little easier where you flip it over and it's not bouncing back on you and hitting you in the head when you're sitting up, and put in a little more, some of the better backboard and those feature comforts to it. So that was and you guys know this, some of these areas you're hunting, like you have to, like, there's not much around you. You have to be in the decoys. Right. Like you can't just say, "Hey, I'm going to set up a 2x4 in the middle of the field." And some people do that, but it's generally speaking, you get around wary birds and you got to be careful. If you don't have like a fence row or something you can back up to, getting in the decoys can be really helpful if done right.
That's funny that you have those. My dad was a guy with a lot of ideas. We had homemade goose chairs in 1995, 96 probably. They weighed about 480 pounds apiece, and they were made out of steel tubing. Do you remember those, Andy?
No.
You don't remember some of them? And anyways, them suckers were heavy, and we had the big 747 decoys with holes cut in them and stuff that we used. And we killed a lot of geese on them. But gosh almighty, they were heavy to deal with. And like you said, you'd flip them up and you'd come up and then you about get a concussion. The decoy flopped back down on a wind, because the wind is always at your back anyway. So you flip it up, and then if it's a windy day, it's blowing it right back down on you. But they do work. But yours looks a whole lot more comfortable and a lot lighter than those did.
Better put together than.
I don't know if they're better put together. These
Stanfield.
Here could have been a roll cage on a sprint car. I mean, they were heavy, but they were too damn heavy. But they were well built.
Yeah,
but it worked.
You're right. That thing you probably could have dropped off a cliff and it would have been fine.
I'm telling you, if you'd hit somebody with it, killed them. I mean, they were there.
These new goose chairs, though, you just throw them on your back, and it's got a backpack that, like, the board is a backpack, if you will. The layout blind that you're laying on, the backboard is a backpack, and walk it out right into the field on your back. No big deal.
And the geese people don't understand. A goose, a big decoy does not bother a goose. They don't have, they don't have depth perception. What kind of eyesight do they have, Andy?
They have monocular vision where they can't use both eyes to focus in on the same target.
So they can't tell that you're not formed to size.
Well, how would you describe it, Tim? Because it's not, I don't know that depth perception is the right word. Otherwise, they'd be crashing when they land.
They just can't tell the difference between an oversized bird and a small bird.
Maybe that's it.
I mean, they don't have any kind of perception on that. Just like I saw a guy the other day had a big goose decoy that he laid in, set in. The whole man sat there, and it encompassed him as a whole goose. Well, been down that road before, too. My dad had one of those. Right. But and they work. But you just got to worry about some asshole on a highway shooting at the biggest goose out there with a rifle. And that has happened before, so it makes things different. I got an idea off air I'm going to tell you that will work, and no one's ever come up with it. And it's something that will really help the goose and waterfowl deal. telling you, it's an easy concept. And Ron Winnicky, I told him, and he was working on it, and then Ron died. So it's a great concept. Randy Bartz would have made something out of this probably. Rest in peace, Randy Bartz, great guy.
God bless him.
So, what is there anything new coming out next year that you can talk about yet? Or I know you got some new stuff coming out.
All top secret.
Yeah, nothing yet that I'd put out there. But there will be some cool spinner stuff coming out next year. I'll leave it at that. But some stuff around spinners that I think people will really take notice to.
I don't know how y'all do it. Like I said, I would have been tapped out about 7 years ago on ideas on what to do. I'm amazed that you keep coming up with new stuff and innovative stuff that works.
Two things before we get off here. I'm going to ask you. First thing I'm going to ask you is, it's a new thing I'm going to start asking everyone. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen while you've been out hunting or fishing?
Weirdest
or something
thing
you can't explain that you've seen.
You stumped him.
I'm trying to think. You might have stumped me on that one.
Where all you travel? Are you traveling anywhere this year? Are you going up into Canada while you ponder this question?
No, not going into Canada. We actually, for our show, The Grind, the guys are just up there right now, actually, having some good hunts. I had a family commitment over the weekend that I had to be at, and so I chose not to go. Made the right choice,
put it that way. Yeah.
Did the family thing and didn't go hunting instead. But my first trip will be North Dakota. Do
y'all go there every year? So, North Dakota?
Mm-hmm.
It's around the same time?
Yeah, it's usually the second week of October.
How is it? So, like, we can talk about. It seems like winter is getting pushed back more and more. Is the weather? Have you noticed the weather being warmer every time you go up there, or is it usually fairly okay?
It's funny you say that. It just depends. I've had it where it's been colder than normal and warmer than normal. It's funny that we as hunters talk about the weather all the time, but there's just averages, right? Like the temperature is just averages this temperature 60 degrees in October or whatever. But that means it's one year it's colder, way colder than that, and the next year it's way warmer than that, and it comes out to average, in the middle of that, right? Like, so I don't know. I think sometimes even in the last 5 years, it's been wet, it's been dry, it's been hot, it's been cold. There's no consistency, so I can't say that I've noticed anything warmer all the time. Now, maybe in general, are we a little bit warmer like people talk about? Sure, but not where it's noticeable per se on trips.
Because that's like you said, I've never thought of it that way. Like for it to be a 60-degree average, that means it's got to be 75 one year and it's got to be like 45 or 50 the next year for it to be at that average.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
All right. My last question: your Super Bowl picks.
Ooh.
Who's gonna? My Packers aren't gonna do it. We were talking about that earlier. I don't think they're gonna be in there. So I hate to say it, but I got a funny feling about the Niners.
Really, with Trey Lance?
Yep. That I think they're gonna come out of the West. Them or the Rams, but I'll maybe be a little different and go with the Niners. Out of the AFC, maybe we'll get a new team in there. Maybe we'll get Baltimore in there.
Boy, that'll make me eat a lot of fucking crow if Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl.
Jeff is anti-Lamar.
No, I think Lamar Jackson's a great fantasy quarterback, but I think he is a.
You don't think he has what it takes to put a whole season together?
No, I don't think he can win in the playoffs because you got to run the ball and you got to be really good with your passing. They can run the ball. I don't think he's that good a passer. I'll have to eat a lot of crow if he does. They have a great defense though.
A whole lot.
That's the first person we've had say Baltimore though. So there you go. You're the only one to do that so far.
So what do you think of the Cowboys.
I
Right,
hope they
this year.
suck.
They're going to struggle. They're going to take second in the NFC East.
9-8, 8-9, about the same as they always do. And then but I'm telling you right now, if they finish 5-12 this year, or they finish 15-2 this year, they'll be Super Bowl favorites in Dallas, Texas for next year. Just ask a Cowboy fan, because from the end of February through the 1st of August, they're Super Bowl champs every year. They had a guy run a punt back and a kickoff back in the playoffs or in a preseason game, and Harry that works for us come in. Oh, hell yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. Boy, do you see that guy? Ain't nobody else has a guy like that. He ran a kickoff against the second and third string special teams for somebody, but they're Super Bowl bound now. So I think Dallas will be just about like Dallas does every year. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. I don't think the NFC East second team will, but my picks are Philadelphia and San Diego, or the Chargers, whoever the hell they are now. That's my picks for the Super Bowl this year, Philadelphia and the Chargers. So, you don't think the Chargers?
What are you in?
I am going to go out on a limb.
Oh, Packers. He always goes out on that limb.
They're going to break my heart again. Packers, Bills win is my pick.
I like that Bills pick.
The Packers have got to get it right. Like the window it's all like there's just a little bitty sliver, because from what I understand about Aaron Rodgers' contract is next year is pretty much it for the guaranteed type stuff. Like after that, and plus like the amount of money he's going to get, I just think that it's this year or bust almost.
We should be a Wisconsin podcast. Do you realize how many guests we have from Wisconsin?
That's where the hunting capital of the world is, it seems like.
Everybody's from Wisconsin's on here. We don't ever have anybody from Wisconsin lately pick the Packers, because everyone's brokenhearted right now, because every year it's the same shit.
But we've had, and I say I'm a Texas Packer fan, but the Packers have had the number one seed 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they've had the best wide receiver in the league. They've had a hell of a run game. They're getting a good defense.
And you've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back, and you've won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
That's what drives me nuts is we've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and won 2 Super Bowls in the last 30 years.
Yes.
You know, another team that's lucky that way. They didn't get Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but the Cowboys. Cowboys got Tony Romo, who was a very good quarterback, and they got Dak Prescott, who's a very good quarterback. But you know what? They've won 2 playoff games with them. So see, there you're better off than they are. But they're not Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but they've had 2 really good quarterbacks for a franchise that hasn't drafted one in the first round. Y'all done a great job trading for Brett Favre, and y'all did a good job for Aaron Rodgers. I think I would not be surprised if Baker Mayfield is a Green Bay Packer quarterback starting next year, if Rodgers does hang it up, because Mayfield's going to be a unrestricted free agent, and he would fit in good in Green Bay. I think people in Green Bay would appreciate him. I think Cleveland screwed up. I think Baker Mayfield's a really good quarterback, and if Baker has a really good year, he's going to cash it in big time this year when he's a free agent. Would you be shocked if he ended up a Packer, Andy?
Yes.
You would be surprised?
This is what he does. He just says shit over and over again, and he hopes that it's going to like come
I'm
to
not a
fruition.
Mayfield fan, and I'm not a Packer guy.
You're a huge Mayfield
No, but you don't think Mayfield's a good quarterback?
Decent.
As a free agent next year, would you rather take Baker Mayfield or some kid out of college that's a freshman? I mean, a senior.
A kid out of college.
A kid out of college. I wouldn't. Most of them are bust.
Tim, help me.
Yeah, I would not take. I don't think I'd take Baker Mayfield either.
Y'all are.
I think there's too much drama.
You've got Aaron fucking Rodgers, and you're talking about drama.
Exactly.
Green Bay's tired of drama.
Christ. Baker Mayfield's at least married to a lady, and does. I think Aaron Rodgers has probably been catfished like Mantau or whatever his name is. I really do.
Why? He dated Danica Patrick. She's a smoke
He's
show.
a weird dude. She's not. She's a weirdo.
She's a smoke show.
I like Aaron Rodgers, but that is a weird fucker that none of us would want to hang out with if he wasn't a quarterback.
I would hang out with him.
Not if he wasn't a quarterback, you wouldn't. No, you'd be the weird guy that lives down the block that mows his yard with knee-high black socks. Nope, you wouldn't do it.
I do have an answer to your
good
question about the weirdest thing. I guess this was fishing. We were fishing. It was down in Florida, and we were in the mangroves, kind of the backwaters, right? And casting out some sort of shiner minnow or something like that. And this wouldn't be a pelican, but it's a bird similar to a pelican, came flying down as we're casting a live bait out, right? Snatched that sucker out of the air and took off with it. And here I'm holding on to the rod, and we're out with a fishing guide from down there, and this little skiff boat, and literally reeled in a flying bird, and he grabs it by its, kind of its neck, unhooks it, and lets it go, and there it flies off.
Was you
The weirdest thing ever.
was you fishing for snook?
Yeah, like snook and grouper and just those backwater fish.
That'd be cool. That's a
Amberjacks.
fun trip right there.
Where were you at?
Yeah. Marco Island area,
Jeff?
kind of south of Naples away.
Oh, okay.
Away.
Yeah. Sareki, he goes down to the Keys every year. That's one place that I'd really, really like to get to is the Florida Keys.
They sell airplane tickets there all the time. That's where you ought to go. Take your bride. You can surprise her on a trip.
He doesn't understand, Tim.
I guess I don't.
Doesn't understand. A live pelican. I would have never.
You've been in fight, getting that son of a bitch off there, boy. Whew, shit all over you.
Was he pissed off when you finally got him to the boat?
Oh yeah, wings flapping. Like, I mean, you know how it is. You grab a goose that's still alive, right?
Yeah.
Like,
They're not tiny animals either.
No, that was the weirdest thing ever. That sucker just flew off with the bait. I'm like, well, I'm looking up and he's probably 20 feet in the air. I'm like, oh my God, what do we do here? He's reeling in.
That's it.
Okay.
Give him some line. Work that pole. Keep your tip up. You have to keep your tip down on that one.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, we appreciate you being on here, man. We're very proud to be with Lucky Duck as a sponsor. Great company. We look forward to it. And if there's anything else we can do for y'all, please let us know. Love to have you come down here and go hunt with us one day.
Yeah, would love to do that. Thank you guys for everything too. You guys do a great job. I know a lot of guys listen to your podcasts, and you're doing a great job at it. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. And we can sit in the 2x4 and just we'll be warm. So it'd be great to have you down here. All right, bud. You take care and go Pack Go.
And I'll call you later with to give you the idea for your next $1 million deal.
$1 million idea from Jeff Stanfield.
There you go.
I'll be waiting.
All right. We'll talk to you, Tim. You have a great day, sir.
Bye. Tim, no.
We are a Wisconsin podcast. It seems like every other person we have is from Wisconsin.
I am Wisconsin, Jeff.
Are you?
I am Wisconsin.
You've never even been to Wisconsin.
I am Wisconsin.
You are 30 miles from it. It's a good place, good people, pretty country there too. I could live
Wisconsin.
there. I could have me a place there in the summertime. Around that north part, up around Hurley. Woo.
If anybody is interested, go to luckyduck.com and you can get everything that they've got online. I'm telling you, this Super Swimmer HDI, it's a game changer. Realistic wake. I mean, just the way the decoy moves on the water, game changer. luckyduck.com.
Great stuff, great company, great people. Okay. We're doing our football picks tomorrow.
Yep, with Trevor Shanahan.
What's your big upset for college so far? Anything that you think?
LSU.
They were getting their ass beat anyways the whole game.
Yeah, but
maybe Coach O wasn't so bad.
Maybe not.
They hired the fraud from Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame played Ohio State a good game.
Has he taken on a fake accent? Have I heard that?
He tried that. Now he's going to be back to his other one.
Here's what I don't get.
Coach O didn't have a fake accent.
No. Mac Brown gives up 61 points to Appalachia State, and he's dancing like a fucking moron.
He's lucky to win. He's happy.
You just gave up 61 points. You're gonna go dancing?
Listen, he's got Joe Biden's dementia maybe now. He's down. He's got to be 140.
I bet he's younger than Saban.
Boy, that's pretty close.
And Saban just signed a 10-year deal?
What about Pete Carroll? Yeah, but he ain't gonna coach 10 more years. I don't think. I don't know. He keeps getting in the door to everybody. I'm gonna tell you what.
Mac Brown is 71.
Oh, he's younger than I thought he was. Then Lee Carroll's 76 or something, I think, or 73. Saban's like 73.
Saban 70.
Okay, I'll go. I love my Texas Longhorns.
They're gonna get fucking fucked.
I'll bet you they get beat. The line's 20. And if I was betting on the
Ooh.
game, I would take Alabama and give up to 20 points. I hope I jinxed Bama so much on that, but I do not think that we are going to be able to play with Texas going in the SEC and Oklahoma. Every week they're going to have to play a football game. There isn't any Texas Techs on that schedule when you start going to the SEC.
Now they're not at their. That's next year, right?
I think
but they're
next year.
playing some SEC teams this year.
No, that was just a non-conference game. Yeah, Alabama always plays Patsies at the first of the year, and Saban's like Texas. Okay, let's play them. They win 5 games every year.
And Carroll is 70. So
yeah,
couple of oldies. Let me see what Saban just signed for. I thought it was 10 years.
So Belichick, how old is he? 73.
Hold on, one track mind here, Jeff. New contract.
Douglas just texted me. He's in Montana grouse hunting right now. It's 93 degrees up there today.
The deal, which now runs through the 2029 season, so he only signed another 7 years. He ends February of 2030, worth at least a total of $93.6 million.
And that is the reason why Alabama will probably win another 2 national championships in that time.
Just 2?
Well, I'm just giving them 2. And Texas will probably win 0 in that fine because Texas's Board of Regents about 7-8 years ago decided they didn't want to take a chance on Saban because he was getting a little old.
That's what they said?
They didn't sign him. They signed that dumbass from Oklahoma or Ohio State.
Who did you tell me to look up? Bill?
Yeah, Bill Belichick. I think he's 73 maybe.
70.
I feel sorry for Bill Belichick.
Why?
If Bill Belichick would have retired 2 years ago, he would have been the greatest coach, non-debatable, that ever coached the game.
Pride got in the way. He wanted to show everybody he could do it without Brady.
Tom Brady. That's right. And they make a great team. Brady won 1, and a lot of it had to do with Tampa's defense. They wouldn't have beat Green Bay if it wasn't for that defense. I'm not taking nothing away from Tom Brady. He's the greatest quarterback ever. But I have a feeling that Tampa Bay is going to end about like they did last year. I don't know. Something's going on with him. It's going to be interesting to see. If he comes out on fire, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out and throws for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns against the Cowboys Thursday night at all.
I wouldn't be shocked if he threw for 225, 2 interceptions, and a tud.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean we got to get to the point, and he does. But, man, he's a gamer and a contributor, and they do everything they can to help him win. They went and signed Antonio Brown. They got Gronk. This year they went and got Julio Jones. And what the fuck are your Green Bay Packers doing? They've done nothing. They didn't try to get Julio Jones. They didn't try to get anybody.
Jeff,
I understand you're frustrated by that too.
Spend the money.
Yeah,
I don't think you can. I don't think they have any money to spend.
Everybody has money. They figured a way out. One of those rookies for the Green Bay Packers, either that Watson kid or that Dobbs kid, is going to be a big star.
Dobbs.
One of them, because a good quarterback makes a decent receiver great. We're
going to find out how good. Rodgers is going to make somebody rich this year.
Yes, every time.
It might be Lazard. Right. It might be Watkins. Don't forget they got Sammy Watkins, Jeff. We did do something.
Why don't they go sign Odell?
He just blew out his knee in the Super Bowl.
He'll be better in 5 or 6 weeks.
No.
Yep.
Jeff, that's a year. You've said it a million times.
It's a 2-year. It is a 2-year deal. But he could help
blew
him
it out in the Super Bowl.
Right. It's a 2-year. The first year. That's why I think Saquon Barkley is going to have a monster year this year.
Could be right.
Last year he was coming off. The second year is when it all comes in. And boy, if Barkley's good, then boy, he's been a steal for some people in fantasy. All right, I appreciate y'all listening to it. We will have the world famous Trevor Shanahan on with us, and we will do a football. What in the hell's going on with Trevor Shanahan? Trevor will not be the smartest guy in the room this time because I'm going to be here. Would you say he's the second, or you, Andy?
Trevor's wise.
So you say he's smarter than you are?
I didn't say that.
Okay. Well, Trevor and Andy will be tied for 2. I'm number 1. Appreciate y'all listening to us. Thank y'all very much. Hope everybody has a safe hunting season. Be safe this weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, go check out Lucky Duck before you leave here. Get whatever you're going to need. Check out Shin Gear. They've got new jackets. Amazing. Good stuff to go look at. Gundog Outdoors, Pacific Calls, the B.A. Lester Call. Way to go. Boss Shot Shells, you already know. Dive Bomb, you already know. Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Alpha Outdoors, Banktail Whiskey, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Double T British Kennels, Dirty Duck Coffee, and Ducks Unlimited.